Okay, prepare to be astonished. I'm going to ask you to prove to yourself very easily, as I'll show you here, that the fake mail bomb hoax was a theatrical hoax. Now, you've heard me say this before, but I have new proof that is self-evident once you simply just understand. I mean, here, I'm going to tell you. Okay, now go back to the picture of this bomb. And what did they show you? It's a pipe, and it's got a timer on it, some kind of electronic timer. It's taped to it. It's got a wire coming out of each end, right? This is the so-called pipe bomb that was sent out. None of them exploded. None of them had any explosives in them. And the low-cost timers on them did not even have alarm functions. But wait a second. Mail bombs, these were mail bombs. When are mail bombs designed to go off? They're designed to go off when they're opened. Mail bombs don't have timers. You got it? Mail bombs don't have timers. If you go back to the Unabomber bombs of, what was that, the late 1980s, maybe? I forgot what year it was. Yeah, I think it was in the 1980s. The Unabomber bombs, Kaczynski, I think was his name. Theodore Kaczynski, or Ted Kaczynski, was a former CIA operative, by the way. But the Unabomber bombs, they were quite brilliantly constructed, and they did go off. He killed some people with those bombs, and it took them years to track him down. Well, how did those bombs detonate? They detonated based on a mechanical detonation, i.e., when somebody opens the package. That's how mail bombs operate. You open the package, and it goes boom. Mail bombs don't have timers for the simple and obvious reason that you don't know exactly when somebody's going to get the mail. And since people tend to open the mail as soon as they get it, if it's on a timer, what do you set the timer at? 54 hours? I mean, what do you set the timer at? The timers do not belong on mail bombs. The timers, in other words, were added to these bombs as pure decoration because the bombs were theatrical props. The bombs were hoaxes. And FBI Director Christopher Wray is lying to all of us about this right now. He says, no, they're not fake bombs. They're not hoaxes. He says they were real bombs. No, they weren't. The clocks were all fake. Mail bombs don't have clocks. And so whoever constructed these bombs obviously did so for pure theatrical purposes. And of course, as we now know, apparently it's the guy with this white van that has been emblazoned with all of these professionally constructed graphics that are anti-leftist graphics in order to blame conservatives for the fake mail bomb hoax, pipe bombs. And so the media is lying extensively about this entire thing. Number one, they're saying that they're bombs when they're not bombs. They're simply props. And the media is failing to report that these could not have possibly functioned as mail bombs since they have timers, not mechanical actuators that would activate or detonate the bombs when somebody opens them. They were shipped in envelopes, not boxes. The Unabomber, his bombs were shipped in boxes because that way when a part of the box was opened, it would set off a mechanical spring-loaded, I guess a firing pin type of device that would detonate, the actual bomb inside the package. You can't really do that in an envelope, a padded envelope. So the very structure, the very design was a hoax from the get-go. The whole thing is staged from the very beginning. It cannot be anything other than staged because mail bombs don't have timers. So now you realize that it really is all fake. It really is theater. I mean, if you didn't realize that before, maybe you realized it before. I did. Of course, I've talked about this quite a bit, and I've talked about, and perhaps you did too. I mean, we've known this was a hoax from the very first moment that they started publicizing it. It's so obviously a hoax. But now this is further proof that it's a hoax. And this hoax just shows you the incredible desperation of the deep state. They are obviously very concerned that they're going to lose the election. And so they pulled out this, really, this is an act of domestic terrorism, i.e. terrorizing the population. This is terrorizing the American people with a fake pipe bomb hoax. And then the media jumps right in. CNN pretends that these were real bombs. And the New York Times pretends that they're real bombs. And the FBI director, who's part of the deep state, by the way, pretends that they're real bombs. They're all pretending. They're not real bombs. I mean, if you go into like a Denny's or whatever, and they have a fake plastic dessert in the dessert cabinet, to show you what's available to order, if you order that fake plastic dessert, can you eat that as dessert? No, it's fake plastic. It's a prop. That's what the fake bomb was. The fake bombs, multiple bombs. They're just props. They're designed to maybe fool simple-minded people, i.e., every left-wing journalist in America, but they're not real bombs. And so the reporting of them as real bombs is fake news. And that fake news is just universal across the left-wing media. They aren't bombs. Couldn't possibly function as mail bombs. Mail bombs don't have timers. And, by the way, none of these pipe bombs had explosives in them, which means they're not pipe bombs. They're pipes that are not bombs. They're bomb props. They're like Hollywood bombs. The kind of thing you might use in a movie, like Lethal Weapon. Remember the Mel Gibson movies back in the 80s and 90s? It's like, which wire do I cut? Oh, that was almost a catastrophe. So then the obvious question becomes, well, if they're willing to do this, if they're willing to mail fake pipe bombs to people, are they also willing to mail real pipe bombs to people? And the answer is yes. The deep state, the left, the radical leftists, the fake news media, they would all they would prefer real bombs, frankly, because they want to steal the election. They want election interference to happen, and they need to victimize Democrats in order to get, a pity vote. So don't be surprised if they start mailing real bombs to Democrats. They'll never mail real bombs to Republicans, by the way, because they don't want sympathy for Republicans. They'll mail them to Democrats. So it's Democrats bombing Democrats. Classic false flag operation. All throughout history, these have been carried out, over and over again. The CIA does this all over the world to overthrow governments and to install puppet administrations. The CIA is an expert at this, but they're doing it now in America. They're operating in America. They're running this false flag theater to interfere with U.S. elections. And that's why I say these elections, it's looking more and more like Trump would be well justified to declare these elections fraudulent and null and void. Because the election interference by the left has been so extreme at this point. They've interfered by censoring conservative voices. They've interfered by running 2 years of fake news, 92% negative anti-Trump news, pushing fake, totally fictional hoaxes like the Russia collusion hoax and all that. Fake news media. It has harmed our democracy. It's harmed our elections. It has interfered. It has meddled in our elections. And then you have this fake pipe bomb hoax, which is just another attempt to sway the election outcome. And, it's very blatant. So you've got interference in elections on a massive scale now. And if these elections, they're being hacked in essence, or interfered with, meddled with. And that's not fair. They're not fair and free elections at this point. We need to end all the censorship, stop the fake news, stop the false flags, and then have like 90 days of open free speech for all American people to have a public debate about the issues. And then after the 90 days, we'll reschedule the elections and have legitimate elections where they're fair and they're free. That's what we need, because what we're having right now, what we're about to walk into, is not fair and free elections. They are distorted. They are, they're fraudulent because of all of this meddling by the left wing and the deep state and the tech giants and all these players who have tried to overthrow the outcome of the election because they don't like Trump. They don't like conservatives. In fact, they don't like America. They despise individual liberty, and they despise freedom of speech and all that. And they will do anything to win this election, including, if they have to, bombing their own people. Just classic. It's so predictable. It's so pathetic. Every informed person realizes this whole thing is a false flag. Not even a very convincing one. Again, if you were going to mail pipe bombs to people, you wouldn't put timers on them if they're mail bombs, would you? So it's obviously just a decoration, just something that's designed to get caught. And then they contain his fingerprints, too. His fingerprints were found on the envelopes. So obviously it's designed to lead back to the guy, back to the van, show the van on the TV news. Oh, my God, is this a Trump supporter? Oh, my God. And that's what's happening right now. It is so sinister. It's been engineered. It's fake at every level. It's theater. It's more fake news from the fake media using fake pipe bombs to try to push fake elections. I mean, it is criminal what all of these organizations are doing to America. It's absolutely criminal. And they've got to be stopped. And this is why you got to go out and vote against them. Vote against the Democrats. Vote against them at every level in every election from this day forward, because they are the party of deception. They're the party of terrorism, violence, mob violence. They are the ones sending the bombs. They are the ones censoring your voice. They are the ones pushing fake news. They are the ones who hate America. They want to dismantle border protections, invade and overrun America with illegal immigrants who vote, by the way, because there's no national voter ID law, because the liberal courts keep striking it down. So this country is being overrun. And all of us Americans have got to stop it. We've got to vote against the Democrats, take back our power, and restore this constitutional republic. And we're far from doing that. Right now, we're just trying to stop the destruction of the country. We're far from rebuilding it. But if we can stop the destruction, that's a step in the right direction. It's one small step for the future of America, so to speak. So vote against the Democrats at every election. Watch my videos at Brighteon.com, and also counterthink.com is my specific channel. Also read my website, NaturalNews.com. And for news about false flag hoaxes, you can just go to hoax.news. Hoax.news. We cover all the hoaxes there. All kinds of hoaxes from the left. Hate crime hoaxes where they spray paint swastikas on their own buildings and then they say, oh, the right-wingers did it. No, it turns out they did it. It's all the time. Fake rape allegations, fake racism, fake hate crimes, fake, graffiti, everything. They do it all the time. This is the way the left operates. Fake. Everything's fake. Vote against them. Save America. Thanks for listening.
Learn more at healthrangerreport.com.
Thank you for watching. If you want to support our mission, visit us at healthrangerstore.com for the world's largest selection of lab-verified superfood and nutritional products for healthy living. It's at healthrangerstore.com.